So let's go on. And here we can see a timeline of some of the eras that we're going to speak about here. Stone Age, Bronze Age, the Iron Age, and the Middle Ages, then Industrial Age, and of course the Information Age. The document that you will have is pretty much an outline. That means that there's a lot of information that would go into the Stone Age, but it gives you a brief overall of what events or topics are in that age. So the Stone Age consists of the Paleolithic, the Mesolithic, and the Neolithic time frame. That is Stone Ages, right? Paleolithic is, I guess you would say, the old Stone Age, and the new Stone Age would be the Neolithic. It's really about early man. So what Homo species lived there, what are the, you know the different developments of man, the tools that they used. Then the Bronze Age comes right after, and then the Iron Age really were named because of the tools that were being used during that time. And then we move into the second era, which is early civilization. Farming starts to happen now. So they don't have to be nomads anymore. The people can now settle. And where would they settle? Next to that, rivers and lakes and water so that they can farm and plant. From there, we move on to the third era, giant empires and classic traditions of major religions, expanding zones of change and encounters, intensify hemispheric interactions. So all of this section here is really sixth grade history. Now, if you think, well, I'm not going to be teaching sixth grade, that's fine. But as an elementary school teacher, you need to be really well versed from K all the way up into sixth grade, or to K8, I should say. So here, look at era 3. Think about China. How did China break apart? What dynasty collapsed because of that? Look at the Han dynasty. The collapse of the Roman Empire. When did that occur? So that was in like 496, the CE. And then we go into China again. What was not restored to its early glory until the emergence of the what dynasty? So know the dynasties, know about also Western Europe, civilizations, China, Rome, all of that was occurring during that time. We go into our next one here. We have the emergence of the first global age and colonization and settlement. So that sixth era is really the beginning of exploration. No more than just Christopher Columbus as the explorer. Know about, Hernan Cortez, the Spanish explorers, the British explorers, and the French explorers. You want to capture all of that knowledge. Know the sea routes that they took. Why was that important? The spread of Christianity. Then we go into colonization and the American Revolution. So you can start to see the birth of the United States in that 7th and 8th era. The next 3 eras are expansion and reform, Civil War and Reconstruction, and the development of the Industrial Revolution. So now we are in the heart of the American history. No, you do not have to know dates, but you do want to be familiar with important dates, like, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. What time frame was the Civil War? You also want to know, so here on the Uncle Tom's Cabin, that is a book. That literary book would be considered historiography because it is part of the history, and it is the real life story of slaves. Well, it's not a real life story, but it's the portrayal of slavery during that time. So those are types of documents that you want to know that were being published. You don't have to have read them, but know what they're about. You also have the expansions to know what the westward expansion was, the Trail of Tears, Lewis and Clark. Why did we expand west? Why didn't we just stay in those colonies? Why do we keep growing? Industrial Revolution, the assembly line, how did the steel industry, how did this all change America? And then we go on to our next two, the emergence of the modern Americas. So now we have the progressive movement, World War I. No, not just the time period, but one of the main reasons of why and who was primarily involved in the early stages of World War I. The Great Depression and World War II. There's a time frame, know the presidents in both of those eras, and know those big important days. So, of course, December 1941, the attack on Pearl Harbor, and then how we settled how the war was ended, what was the settlement. So know that information. And the last two eras are post-war. So everything after World War II into the 70s, that's the post-war United States and the beginning of the Cold War. So please know that you will be asked about the Cold War. I've heard from several students who have told me that they have had questions on the Cold War. So know who was president, what it actually meant. And then, of course, 9/11 and terrorism, any of that can be in that present contemporary. This next section here is additional test sample or resources. Like I said, you will have all of these links provided to you. They're Quizlet links, they're test previews, and of course the YouTube videos. And now I want to get you to see, here we go. If you can join the Google Classroom, and I'm going to show you why it is to your benefit. So you're going to go into googleclassroom.com. Hopefully most of you have been on there before. Sign in with your Gmail account. For example, you and whatever school you are at .edu or your own Gmail. At the top, click add, and then I believe it's on the top right hand corner. You're going to then join the class and enter the code, and the code is right here. F V as in Victor, G H Y C, and the J as in Jack. Okay, I will show you this again in a bit, but let me go on into Google Classroom. So if you're in my Google Classroom, you will see here the stream, classwork, people, and grades. There's obviously no grades because this is not assignments, but in the classwork, I'm going to go ahead and go into that. That is probably where I recommend that you go into, because in the classwork, everything's broken down. For example, videos. You want to go into a video. There's NES social science practice and a free NES elementary education practice with study guides. So those are two YouTube videos. You can just click on them and you will be able to go there. PowerPoint. Definitely this PowerPoint will be in the Explore More PowerPoint. It'll have the date. Well, it'll say fall 2020. And then social studies competencies. So this is the material I was showing you when I showed you all the competencies. You can just click on that and it'll take you right to the competencies. That's the PowerPoint. So then GCU library resources. So important for you to know that our library at GCU offers a lot of resources that you are welcome to use. So hopefully this Google Doc will not take long opening. I will go back to it. The ERA outline and example questions is on here as well. So let me go ahead and show you that. Okay, so here is the eras that I showed you on the PowerPoint, and at the bottom, there's some sample questions. Never hurts to have some sample questions in there. If you would like to know the answers, No problem. You can go ahead and on here, take the quiz. Take the practice quiz. It'll give you the answers right away. They are on a on a Google Forms, and you'll get your answers, and you can study, give you an idea of the type of questions that will be on the NES. Going back to the GCU library, you can select these links and it'll give you the textbooks. They have a lot of different materials. So they have all of these different textbooks that you can actually sign out. And you could probably preview them. If you want to buy them, that's great, but preview them first and decide, hey, ask your friends, what book did you use? What do you suggest? Before you buy, come and preview them at the GCU library. Okay. So going back to Google Classroom, anything else, suggested outline? Oh, I should show you the suggested outline. So I created an outline that I believe, let me see here, explore more outline. Yeah, where I broke it down with the eras, but I think it's a little bit better of how our eras go into the actual explore more. So you have American history and then the eras that will go in there. To world history, the eras that will be in there, some different points that you might want to study, like monarchy, dictatorship, totalitarian. Those are the types of government I was telling you that you needed to know. Anarchy, ancient Egypt, ancient India, China, the Stone Age, all of that is world. Economics, bartered. So these are different vocabulary words that you might want to know for those subject sections. Command economy, market economy, traditional economy, and the definitions are on there. And then geography, you want to look at Mesopotamia, that is located in the Middle East. The Mediterranean climate, the summers, latitude, longitude, prime meridian, equator. So these are some of those words. Also, different religions in different places, worshiping gods, Sumerians. All of that would be under the geography. So this is all in Google Classroom. So it is stored in there. You can use it at any time. If you need my help for any reason, please go ahead and email me. So here is my email, and I would love to hear from you. Anything I could do before you take the test, but I would love to hear from you after you take your test. Any ways that we can update this video, any helpful advice that you have for the upcoming students, please let me know. So with that, I end this video presentation, and I want to wish you all well wishes and many blessings on this journey. And hopefully by the end of your test, you are feeling just like thunder here, because you got this. Have a great day and many blessings.